Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven, and today is my birthday weekend vlog. My actual birthday was on a Tuesday this year, and I had a small party on Sunday, so most of the events were really not on the weekend itself, but I thought it would still be fun to vlog the party prep and everything in between. It's actually a good thing that I started early because I ended up being too overwhelmed and in pain on the date of the party to actually film almost anything at all. So to start Friday off, I made some coffee and I cleaned up the rabbit toys. They were really painful to step on, and then I settled in with my laptop to work on our weekly budget. I tried to get this out of the way before anything else on Fridays so that I have enough mental energy to actually put the numbers in correctly, and I tend to mix up my numbers and letters when I'm tired or I just completely forget them in the time that it takes to switch between two tabs. It takes about an hour or two every week, and then when I was done with that, I had a very specific mission in mind for the day. I've been working on this wisteria garden for the fireplace for months now. I started it early spring, I think, and I lost momentum several times because I was tired of making so many flowers nonstop, but I was completely determined that I wanted to have it finished before my party. So after the budget, I started working on the garland. At this point, I had already made a lot of flowers, and it was a good stash busting project for all of my purple yarn, and I was just chaining them together and adding in some leaves with some green yarn. It's not too noticeable unless you get close to the garland in extreme detail, but I experimented a lot throughout the process of making the vine. I was playing around with different leaf techniques and sizes. There was a stage where I was doing the simple leaf shape that I've done forever. I've tried some little Tunisian crochet leaves that I saw on Pinterest. I chained and slipped stitched together to make little clusters that looked like leaves, and I made some little curly ringlets. I don't even remember what else. I literally just tried any leaf that popped in my head and never cared too much if it was cohesive or realistic. Normally I would care. I'm way more likely to frog a project if I don't like the technique or if I want to just try a different technique in the middle of it, but like I said, I had lost momentum on this project so many times that I didn't want to add more friction to finishing it by being a perfectionist. It was a fun way to experiment with leaves and to still be able to compare them with other types that I had tested out. I put a pause on crocheting so that I could shower before the storm came in because I don't like showering during thunderstorms, and I gave myself a little bit of time to get some tidying done. The summer is really hard on me because my symptoms get much worse when there's a lot of sudden changes and during storms, and especially in the heat. So in general, every part of summer in the South makes my symptoms just spike wildly, and I never know what my limit is going to be day by day. I was feeling about 70% okay, 75% okay, which is a really good percent for a storm day. So I wanted to enjoy it, but also not overdo it and cause a flare-up that wasn't already happening. I made some of my favorite tea, and while the kettle was going, I emptied out the dishwasher. I felt like washing the dishes would be a little over my limit because the steam in my face after all of the bending and rising tends to be really hard on me. So I was happy to just stop there and make myself some lunch. One of my favorite lunches is wraps, and since my partner is exploring cooking as a hobby, it's just gotten even better. He prepped all of the vegetables and has been batch cooking chicken at the beginning of the week, so I just have to assemble the wrap, and it's really good. I want to get a large multi-sectioned like serving tray of some sort so that all of the vegetables can be carried around together instead of making as many trips to the refrigerator. After I ate, I went ahead and refreshed the rabbit's litter box. Their enclosure could have benefited from being actually cleaned, but I didn't feel like removing all of their bedding to vacuum, and I have realized that trying to vacuum without moving everything out is extremely inefficient, but comical. You just end up constantly trying to pry the vacuum hose off the blanket or the rug and throwing all of the hay and the poop everywhere and just making more of a mess. Clean litter and fresh hay was today's good enough. It was time to get settled in and work on the garland after petting Mischief and petting him more because he didn't let me stop yet. When he wants to be, he is the clingiest of clingy babies. Mentally, it can be hard for me to switch from the task I was planning to do to giving him the attention that he wants without any warning, but I know that he spent the first year of his life not receiving the love that he needed and deserved, and wanting to give him the best life I can give him now. I try really hard to make that switch as often as I can, especially since I like the idea of at least one of the rabbits sitting next to me on the couch and just staying there. So far, they both jumped up with me for almost 10 seconds at a time before running off to go lay somewhere nearby, which is progress, but I really miss the experience of having an animal just sitting next to me or in my lap while I do my stationary work. It's just so comforting and soothing. I finally ran out of flowers to add to the garland, so it was time to try and get the whole thing hung up and finished. Even with as many flowers as I made, I still underestimated how many flowers it would take to fill the space. I like how it looks, but in my head, I originally wanted it to be more full and luscious. I hadn't knotted off my work from my working yarn because I was pretty sure that it wasn't long enough to reach from end to end. So I found the middle of the vine and hung that on the center hook, and then I went to the end that still had the working yarn with it, took my hook and just started chaining to add length, slip stitch to make a little loop for it to hang on the hook. Realized that I forgot my scissors and I didn't knot it super well, so I had to redo some of the length and the loop after it unraveled a bit. This part is a little bit harder than just working on the garland itself because I was fighting gravity without my lap to support the rest of the garland, and it was bending my fingers kind of weird and just falling off the hook. Also, the entire vine process was moderately annoying because I had to constantly untangle the flowers from each other and themselves. Twisted objects like this become really nightmarish when you have a large quantity, but it was finally done. I was really proud and excited because it gives the space a whimsical quality that I really want to have more of in my house. What's not whimsical but also important for party prep, it was the bathroom and making sure it was clean. I definitely wanted it to be nice and tidy for guests to come. I finished the night off with the Buns puzzles and some Sims and bagel bites, which is just a really good combo. Saturday we had a lot of errands to run. Well, not a lot. We had some errands to run. Zach had several dishes planned for my super soft birthday party, so we needed some ingredients we don't normally have in the house and can't find in Kroger. We started off with a Starbucks run, which was a little disappointing. We both tried the new frozen refreshers, and since they're not made with an emulsifier like the Frappuccinos are, they were completely separated before we got them. And in general, I've never really liked refresher lemonades. It just wasn't my personal preference. I can see what they were going for, before, but I was not their target customer with this one. Our first actual stop was Michael's. I wanted some cute paper plates and some decorations and sprinkles. Naturally, we stopped and ogled all of the Halloween displays, and we did end up getting a new house for our village because it's Leo season. I loved their neon collection. I feel like it had a lot of really cute pieces in the designs that weren't actually neon lights, still pulled off the theme, and I just thought it was really cute. They didn't have any decorations or paper plates, but I was able to get some sprinkles for the cake that I was gonna make. Our Michael's doesn't have great AC, so in the summer we try to just get in and out as fast as we can. I didn't even stop to look at yarn. We stopped at Ulta and I didn't vlog because I was too hot. I've realized since filming this that the shoes I was wearing make me overheat really bad. I only got a mini eyeshadow palette and a liquid eyeliner, just some really small basic things that I've been kind of wanting to add to my collection. They weren't super busy, but there were enough people spread throughout the store that I felt kind of awkward trying to set my camera up, and I didn't want it to be in anyone's way. Our last stop was Whole Foods. Zach wanted some white peaches to make a peach galette, and I don't like standard peaches. I think they're too sweet. I don't know what else he got. I think he got some cheese for spinach puffs he was making, and I grabbed a bag of cherries because the Kroger near us never has the specific type of cherry, and I really like them. We were both really tired when we got home. We're both pretty introverted and prone to sensory overload, so going out to the more populated area on the weekend to go shopping is something that we've been doing increasingly less. And with the heat, we were pooped when we got home. We also stopped at Kroger on the way home to get some more ingredients, so we got home, put away the groceries, and then just melted in the living room for a few hours. I forgot that I was vlogging when I went to make the cake, which wasn't anything special. It was just some chocolate cake mix from a box. It turns out that some of the extra ick I was feeling was because my period was starting early as a birthday gift from some deity that has to have a really mean sense of humor. I started the morning of my party and it was a pretty bad one, and I was still determined to finish my cake and make some guacamole, which didn't work out because I didn't realize that Facebook event had changed the time of my event, and I realized it when everyone showed up about an hour earlier than I expected. The avocados that we got for the guacamole were not willing to be sacrificed for the greater good and were way too firm to even be partially smashed or broken down. My sister tried to help. It was a mess. Before I sound like I'm complaining too much, let me just say that the party was genuinely so good and fulfilling, and I was really happy for the entire day. I didn't film very much of it because I didn't have the spoons to remember my camera and to also be present. I wish I had filmed more because I would love to have more of those memories available to look back on. The food that Zach made was really, really good. He was able to convince a toddler to like spinach. It felt really incredibly big for me to have an event of any size for myself. I have a really hard time with my self-worth and feeling like I deserve to be around people. I've been around people who made me feel like I didn't deserve to take up space, and most of my adulthood I have been avoiding celebrating my birthday with more than just my husband because I felt like inviting other people would be inconveniencing them. It's something that I've been doing a lot of work on in therapy and still have a lot more work to do, but being around people who have all made me feel loved and appreciated as a person was really huge. I have a complex relationship with my birthday, like a lot of people do. I'm not really afraid of getting older, but I'm afraid of getting stuck and not growing. My birthday is an annual reminder of how hard I fought myself in my past to stay alive and to survive, and in the last few years to get out of survival mode and to live and create an enjoyable existence. My birthday is a reminder that I never made a real plan for what I wanted to be when I grow up because I didn't want to be here long enough to grow up. And now I feel like I don't have the same sense of direction that a lot of people around me seem to have because I've spent the last few years just surprised that I made it this far. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I know that I want to be here. I know that I want to have more birthday parties and I want to eat spinach puffs and galettes. The actual day of my birthday, I had chocolate cake for breakfast, as all witches should. We stopped at Starbucks for my birthday freebie, and this time I got one of my reliable drink orders. Since it was a Tuesday, we wanted to take advantage of some of the places that were less busy, so we went to Target for some skincare, and we just stopped in a few places. In other years, we've gone to the zoo, but it's so hot that we've stopped really wanting to go to the zoo during the summer. I swear, every time I run out of skincare, it's like I run out of 9 other things at the same time, and then I just end up scraping the sides because I just don't want to have to purchase everything all at once. We spent a really good chunk of time looking at school supplies, and I found so many cute things that I would never actually use, but I still really wanted to get them because they were pretty. We also went to Costco to renew our membership. Very exciting. And we stopped for some lunch. I actually didn't get any food because they were out of cheese pizza, and I just can't really eat much of their other food. And on the way home, we stopped to get some Italian takeout at a place that we've tried once before and we really liked. It's a little bit expensive, but a birthday felt like a good reason to get it. And so we just finished my birthday with some good food and one of my favorite shows. Thank you so much for spending my birthday with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more of my content in the future. Leave me a cake emoji in the comments to let me know that you stayed until the end. I hope you are having a wonderful day or that tomorrow is better. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.